Okay, we use these, and I think, in conjunction with this. And universe, give me something that's not political. Give something for the people that's not political, that's beneficial. What can you tell us that's beneficial, not political? Okay, that people need to hear, that would be of benefit for them. Okay, so it's about exploring. Exploration. When it comes to the mentality of fear. Okay? Exploring the mentality of fear. So the energy coming into it is awakening. Awakening. The 10 of wind, that heavy, heavy truth, the way of the cross. Okay? Awakening the way of the cross. So these are the difficult truths that one has to, again, go into. What is the fear? What is the drama, trauma? Okay? You have to awaken and look more deeper at where it was formed, where it came from, what are the seeds of it, to again move forward. Now, yes, events have happened in the past, but they're not happening any longer. So when you continue to get flashbacks into that, you are victimizing yourself with ongoing staying locked in that. So let's go forward. What's going on today? It's about transformation. Okay. This is not an easy thing. Transformation, mother of fire. So the actions in hand are about transformation. And if you want transformation, then you have to go that way of the cross, that difficult way, those harsh truths of confronting fear, confronting those elements that are keeping you bound. The challenge is, reflection. And that's the way through. You have to sit there and you have to go through and look at these things, the 6 of fire glory, if you want to come in and you want to have that victory. It takes reflection. It takes going back and pulling out the roots. Okay? So, okay, well, I'm just going to go and pull the rest of the cards, and then I'll talk about all this subject, what it takes to move through that. Potential outcome, what you're embodying. Are you taking off that mask, or are you embodying some mask? Okay? the brother of wind. So these are about this moving forward in that mental realm to see what are you embodying now in your life. What are you embodying? Are you continuing with this mask, or are you awakening and taking off this mask? Outside influence is about fruition. So what has come to fruition? It's the light. You need the light to come to fruition. Underneath of it, the rainbow mirror. What you're reflecting for renewal. Okay, what you're reflecting for renewal. Whew, so this is a big subject. Okay, this is a big subject. Now, I had somebody come in that was talking about, I'm not a mental health expert, and how dare I talk about these things, and maybe it's chemical, maybe it's, they didn't like what I had to say about coming into light. Now, I have been through a lot of trauma in my life. Okay? Lots of trauma from birth. And I had extreme PTSD, depression, all of it is where I began my journey. To the point of I would self-harm, getting a lot of piercings done because the physical pain was easier to endure than the mental pain. It was a distraction from the mental pain. Well, finally, one day the light dawned. Well, that's not solving anything. Okay, but I understand why people do it. Because I've been there. So once I figured out, well, that's not solving anything, and the light bulb went off as to why I was doing it, then you start looking deeper. And you have to explore again, where are those seeds of fear manifested from? And the difficulty wakening up to that way of the cross, that difficult journey of the harsh truths that you have to face. If you want transformation, you have to take action. You have to have reflection. If you want to, again, come to the victory in your life, okay, and seeing what you're embodying, again, it takes that mentality of going within and reflecting and looking deeper, and the sunlight to break through all of this stuff so you can have fruition. Because the Nine of Waters, you reflect the rainbow reflecting on this. If you want renewal, what is it you're reflecting in your life? Okay. What are you holding mentally, emotionally? Now, one thing I saw, again, when the PTSD, the flashbacks were happening, and you're right back in the situations again, I saw one thing, that the ones that had perpetrated these things on me were living in a hell realm. Okay? They were compelled to do what they were doing. Okay? So once I saw that, then it developed some compassion, some empathy. Not that you are excusing what they are doing, but you see they are living in a hell realm. Anybody that is perpetrating these dark actions upon people are in a mental hell realm. Okay? They are being demonically in this realm of demon. Okay? So you have that empathy because you know that they are facing a long-term hell realm when they transition. Okay? So again, this is not about excusing anything they do, making light of it, not that at all. But when you can develop empathy and compassion, it frees you up. It also frees you up. And the minute those triggering events start, and trust me, I've had a lot of triggering. I could not go into a VA, to a hospital. I couldn't even go in getting my driver's license. Anybody in a uniform as well was a triggering event. Again, you have to stay in the moment. Okay? Do something different. Break that cycle. Okay? And again, you see that the mental family, if you come in a family that's got a lot of mental trauma, I've had it from all ways. From child sexual abuse by family member, rape, I've been kidnapped, kidnapped, rape, lost everything in life 2-3 times, homeless, and grew up in a family that had no love. No, not one positive thing was ever said in my life growing up, okay? It was literally, why were you born? We never wanted you. That type of mentality. Not one comforting word ever. Not once did I hear anything of we love you or anything positive. Okay? So you come out of that and you see that it had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with myself. It was their mental instability of things they had not handled in their own lives that they are perpetrating onto you. But you have to sit and reflect on that to come to that point of revelation. Either that, or you're either going into all the drama. They tell you you're ugly, or they tell you you're stupid, or they tell you whatever it is they're telling you. Okay, whatever they're trying to put on you, you sometimes either buy into it, or you go the opposite spring-loaded thing about trying to prove it wrong. But it's always coming from a place of some hole. Okay? So it's about coming to a point of seeing that the things that they were again trying to put on you was absolute fallacy. Okay? And then again that releases all of that. And if you're doing a lot of meditation, etc., and like I said, my path was through Kundalini. It awakened, and it brings up all the fears. It brings up all the traumas in your face and all your preconceived notions to be broken through. And, somebody sent a link also today, and it's about basically non-duality and trying to explain it to those that are in a dualistic mindset. Well, that doesn't work. Okay? I could talk all day what it is to be beyond that dualistic mindset in direct consciousness, but it's not going to benefit anybody, because unless you're within that reality, trying to explain non-duality to somebody who's in a dualistic mindset, they're just never going to understand it. So I don't speak about it. If you want to know what it is, you can read some of my books. Some of them have about non-duality. Okay, but right at this moment, I'm talking about coming out of severe depression, PTSD, whatever the trauma is, whether it's been sexual abuse or whether it's been mental abuse. Those experiences are past. Okay? So when you see that you're re-victimizing yourself every time this thing triggers, okay, then you start backing out of it. You come back to, if some trigger starts in this moment, the only thing that's happening is at this moment I'm sitting here reading the cards. I'm having this conversation. Bring yourself back. The minute you start triggering, bring yourself back to something concrete, reality. Do something different to break that cycle, rather than staying in it. Okay? Depression, start a book and look for a minimum of 3 things per day that you're grateful for. Now, when I started that, I did the journal, okay? And one thing I remember so clearly, I was grateful for a slight little breeze on a hot day. Or somebody smiles, or somebody opens a door, or, it could be anything. But start developing, looking for the positives rather than focusing on the negatives. And start pulling yourself out of this. Okay? But again, a lot of this takes sitting with things and exploring it. And you'll see that fear, what happens to the body is you have this, it releases adrenaline, okay? You get fight or flight, adrenaline release. Well, recognize this is an adrenaline release, okay? And again, pull yourself back to the moment. So that's what it's about. It's about exploring the fear, awakening to the harsh truths, the underlying truths, to break that cycle so you can transform by taking actions, okay? Reflecting to get a victory. And then embody a better truth. Embody that. Be what you want to be now. Okay? Be what you want to be. Start changing that mindset from defeatism into this going forward into, again, being a productive, changing person. Like you've seen me changing my wardrobe, changing the energy of that makes a difference. Okay? It makes a difference. You change the energy, change your surroundings. Get out. If you are in a place of a lot of negative people, then you need to, again, change that environment. Change your mental state. People that want to stay on the poor me saga and beat that drum, you can beat that drum for all you want. You may have a parade behind you for a time, but eventually people are going to get tired of it. Okay? And I'm telling you, I have developed some techniques that people that work with trauma, work with people that are in drug abuse situations, etc., are using and using successfully. Okay? You can find out what is in somebody's consciousness. So I've developed a technique that they can find out what is somebody's unconscious that they are clinging to and projecting that they don't even know they're doing it. Okay? And then they can show this, and that person can start to build bridges on how to move forward. This is not about you telling them how they need to move forward. They can develop this themselves, okay? So anyway, yes, I've been through trauma from my birth for many years. So when people come here and say, well, I'm not a mental health professional and I don't know, I know from direct experience. And not from being a mental health that went through some school that's going to try to understand what it is to be in that state without being in that state. You have to actually go through it in order to understand it. Hey, Miss Lily. Miss Lily Boom. What are you doing, Miss Lily Boom? So anyway, hopefully this has helped somebody out there. Again, don't re-victimize yourself. And this is not going to happen overnight. This takes time. Again, it takes reflection. It takes you reprogramming yourself. It takes being able to see these things for yourself, how you're victimizing yourself based on past traumas, based on past experiences in life. You have a family and you have 2 kids, and they can have 2 extremely different experiences in that family, okay? So, again, it takes reflection and it takes changing your actions. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You have to change it. You have to open it. You have to start letting go of some of these things. Now, I don't like a lot of the mental health system because you go in and they say, oh, you have every right to feel this way. And they just ingrain what's going on because they keep you in that poor me saga mentality. Okay? Rather than giving you tools to break through it, they keep you on that wheel. You know, I went to, and that just popped in again, to a mental health professional that said if I would have gone through what you've gone through, I would have killed myself. That's what was supposed to help? That was supposed to help? I would have committed suicide already. Oh, well, that's a big help. Okay? So, again, a lot of the mental health community needs to have radical changes coming in, okay? Because that could have springboarded me into the thing of there is no help. I saw I wasn't going to get help there. That was not of help. And my way through it was, again, sitting, contemplating, meditation, looking at all these aspects, going all the way back to where they began and seeing the seeds of what was planted and then pulling it out by the roots, confronting it, So I'm telling you, you can come out of it. It's not a magic wand. It takes reflection, it takes meditation, it takes action on a daily basis to reprogram yourself, to wipe that stuff out, and to go forward to something beneficial. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.